And we now have the presentation by Shri Manoj Raj, Practice Lead Asset Management, Bahwan CyberTek. Mr. Manoj brings with him 21 plus years of experience in implementing various asset management solutions with a special focus on Maximo in oil and gas, manufacturing, and utility industries. He led the implementation of one of the biggest oil and gas installation of Maximo ONG and BP upstream. The complex transformation project for BP was successfully implemented to redefine the asset management practices for the upstream business. Mr. Manoj was leading the BP for IBM for all Maximo and asset management projects, upgrade, backbone rollouts, and migration from London, UK for about 7 years with IBM. He led numerous Maximo implementations and upgrade projects for clients like GE Wind, GE Healthcare, Bombardier, BP Romania, Water Australia, BG, etc. Mr. Manoj has extensive maintenance domain experience in manufacturing and oil and gas industry, having worked with Asian Paints, Maffatlalal and Reliance Industries Limited before joining Satyam, IBM and Accenture Solutions Limited. Mr. Manoj enjoys a strong track record of leading diverse teams using innovative project management and ITIL strategies aligning with enterprise goals. Set up projects, transition and transformation, third party management, rescue and recovery, consulting, delivery, and execution. He has presented papers and studies in Maximo, RCM, IoT, and 3Riga for IBM, and Accenture in various forums for asset and facility management practices. He has graduated in mechanical engineering from Government Engineering College, Calicut University, and also holds a PG diploma in e-commerce. And over to you, sir, for your presentation.
Bahwan CyberTek as AVP in asset management practice. I started my asset management journey 20 years back. Right, and was associated with Reliance Industries, with Asian Paints, with IBM, with Accenture, right, before joining BCT. So BCT is a 20-year-old company with presence in 4 continents and 20 countries. We are delivering asset management solutions for the past 14 to 15 years. We're one of the top 10 system integrators in IBM Maximo solution in asset management space. And we have almost 3,000 plus associates working in 40 plus clients globally. Okay. So today we will be talking about CAMS, like Common Asset Management Solution for Rail Network. During the presentation, I'll be detailing about what is CAMS, what is the importance of CAMS, what are the key functions we are achieving through CAMS, and how BCT as a company is helping clients across the globe by implementing CAMS. Then we look at CAMS solution landscape, how it integrates with a typical systems in the rail network landscape, right? And how CAMS act as a common decision hub for seamless decision-making process. We'll conclude with the takeaways and the benefits CAMS provide to the rail network across the globe. So let's start with why CAMS, right? Rail maintenance is changing now, right? Or a period of conventional rail maintenance. Now it is gradually changing to a condition-based maintenance from a reactive, like you fix, you break, I fix sort of a scenario, right? That's predominantly because, you see, over a period of time, we can see that the operational cost and the maintenance costs are growing, correct? And condition-based maintenance help rail networks achieve reliability in operations and maintenance. That is the plus point. And if you see today's world, right, there are so many sensors. The technology around the sensors has evolved, and that increase the reliability of the data coming in through the sensors to any digital platform. And that has helped in a more precise decision-making process, right? And today, rail network is beyond the conventional like bogie, train maintenance, rail maintenance sort of thing to an integrated maintenance management solution covering the entire rail infrastructure, starting it from the railway station maintenance, the track maintenance, the tunnel maintenances, right? The bridge maintenance and the infrastructure maintenance as a whole. And that is where CAMS helps in the picture, right? So I'll go to the next slide. So what are the strategic maintenance problems in the rail network, right? So first we call it as maintenance dimension, right? So that is a service life and maintenance frequency determination. So when the maintenance has to be carried out in each of these assets in the rail network, that is very critical, right? So that means what is a service life? What is the total life that we can expect out of these assets in the landscape, and how and when these assets has to be replaced, right, as a part of your entire life cycle management. Rolling stock, infrastructure maintenance, track signal maintenance, and tunnel maintenance. These are all incorporated into, should be incorporated into your maintenance program. Contract design, one of the key elements, right, prevailing in the rail maintenance, right? Because you see, if you see rail networks globally, we can see that most of the rail operators, right, are operating their maintenance networks through the contractors. That is because of the localization, right? Because if you see, a rail is unlike a planned mode of operation where it is distributed in a geography, correct? So there are pockets of areas where maintenance has to be located to carry out their maintenance effectively. So contract management is a critical part of the asset management life cycle, correct? Maintenance resource dimensioning and scheduling. Again, this again add to the effective scheduling of the resources who are available for maintenance, right? What each resource is doing and how they can be maximized, right, in the overall maintenance program. Health and safety during work execution. So it's a critical path of any work execution, and it holds good for the rail network also. And effective energy management, right? So these are the key areas of the strategic maintenance problems which we have just seen in the rail network. So how a CAMS help, right? CAMS helps you to provide a common asset management system, right? That means a system which can hold the entire details of all your assets, its hierarchy in the landscape. That starts, we discussed it, right? That start from the bogies, that start from the engine, that from the tracks, the tunnels, the signaling system, the railway stations, escalators, right? The lifts, everything in their power system. All these assets can be collectively brought into a single framework for effective maintenance. And one single asset registry, right? The CAMS provides a one single asset registry across the landscape. And the same as, see, when you have a single asset registry across the landscape, you can have a standardized model of asset management, right, or work management executed across your landscape. Extended asset longevity, right? So see, the key focus of any maintenance activity is to make your asset perform longer and consistent. Correct. So in this case, the common asset management solution will help us increase the longevity of asset by calculating or effectively executing the maintenance program. Seamless data flow in the integrated landscape. If you see any rail networks, right, the landscape is integrated. For example, there are so many systems work in tandem in a rail operational scenario, be it the SCADA system, the PLC systems, the signaling system, the failure monitoring systems, PCCs, etc. Right. So what CAMS does it brings all the data together and provides a single landscape, right, single platform for effective decision making. I'll take it through in the subsequent slides. Global standards in safety, right? How the global standards in safety can be extended to the asset management and work management practices. So the solution landscape of CAMS, right? If you see this, right, the CAMS is created, or CAMS is designed around Maximo as a core solution, right? So Maximo holds the center of the table, right, as a core solution. It is we can normally be rail maintenance providers prefer it on-prem solution because of the way it works. So even though Maximo has a functionality for cloud-based solution, we have proposed on-prem solution for majority of our CAMS customers. ACM, Maximo Asset Configuration Management. This is very critical part of the, or critical component of the solution, right? So what this helps is, it helps to maintain a consistent asset configuration for the key assets in the landscape. For example, bogie. So if you know the maintenance practices prevailing in industry, you will know that the bogie maintenance, right? The some of the parts or sub assets or small assets of these bogies are interchangeable, right? For example, one asset you bring from one bogie and put it into other bogie as a part of your asset maintenance cycle, correct? And once so what ACM helps is ACM helps you to create a consistent framework, right? A consistent asset hierarchy for the bogies before a work execution comes into closure, right? So when as a part of your work execution, whatever spare parts or whatever critical sub assets you are bringing into the bogies, the CAM system will check the consistency of it and hierarchy of it, so that the consistent hierarchy is maintained, right? The ACM is a component which provides that functionality. Maximo scheduler, right? What does scheduler do? Scheduler will help us to address the resource dimensions which we discussed earlier, the effectiveness of the resource, which resource should work at what key element. For example, you have a vibration analysis to be done, so that the resource who is capable of doing or skilled to do the vibration analysis will have to be scheduled for that time of the slot where the work has to be executed. So Maximo scheduler will help us to achieve that. It helps us for PM forecasting, for crew scheduling, right? Crew scheduling means which crew has to be scheduled. This is more predominantly in use for critical crews, right? The critical skilled labors to the job. Resource leveling, that means across how you ensure that 8 hours of work or 9 hours of work of the resource is effectively utilized, right? So resource leveling helps us to achieve that. Maximo for BIM. BIM is building information management. This comes into picture where whenever a new installation is coming in, for example, there are a lot of metro networks and all coming into picture, right? So that is where the contracting phase to commissioning phase to the execution phase comes into the picture. So BIM drawings are prepared as a part of the initial commissioning of the stations or of these buildings. And what Maximo provides is Maximo provides a framework to integrate with BIM, so that the data you are providing or collected as a part of the BIM can seamlessly go into Maximo and create that framework, right? So for any asset hierarchy, any details of the assets into the picture can be collected together in the BIM COBie file and can be integrated back into Maximo. So the COBie integration facilitates that for BIM, right? So then Maximo linear asset management. So this component helps us to map the rail positions, right? So where are the junctions, where are the railway crosses, right? Where are the key maintenance point of the rail can be easily mapped into the solution with the linear asset management solution, correct? So if you go ahead with that, any tunnel maintenance, right? So tunnels, where which position of the tunnels, where are the signaling system installed, all these data can be collected and collated in the solution using linear asset method. There are two ways of doing it, right? One, we do it in a lat long basis, right? So where the latitude of a longitude of this asset start point and point is measured and collected and put it back into Maximo for tracking. Okay. Then Maximo health and safety. Health and safety is an extensive module in the CAM solution, right? So what it helps is it has an extensive functionality for your hot work, for the welding activities, right? For any permit management, whether it's a work on height, correct? Any permit management can be done through the HSC solution. It also extends for lockout, tagout functionality, right? Extended for ACM, asset configuration management, because what it does is it ensures that the asset configuration is maintained after the execution of the work, correct? And integration with environmental control systems, etc. So this helps us to see that the environment where the workman is going to execute his job is safe and is comfortable for him to carry out his work safely, right? So that is what this helps. And again, the CAMS gets integrated with ERP solution, with the crew management, with rolling stocks solution, with the signaling system, SCADA, BMS system, building management system, tunnel ventilating system, fault reporting system, etc. See, the core functionality of the CAMS is to bring all these data points together and allow the maintenance manager or a maintenance technician to take a I would say valued decision, right? So that decision should be articulated well and should be backed up by the data available. And this system or solution will help a technician to do that. I'll show how this integrated decision hub works, right? So see, the CAMS becomes the center of the solution, right? Rolling stock. If the rolling stock is normally what happens is wherever the OEMs are in picture, right? So the rolling stock will be handled by their system. Even though CAMS system has a functionality to handle rolling stock itself, there are solutions where rolling stock is integrated with the CAMS, right? SCADA BMS data is integrated, fault reporting system is integrated, tunnel ventilation environmental control system is integrated, ERP system, BIM, crew rostering, PSS, OCS system is getting integrated with the CAM solution. So what it does is the CAM solution will provide you a framework for integrated work management and work request initiation. For example, any data coming in, for example, an alert coming in from SCADA, right, can be converted into a work request, and a work can be initiated out of this. Failure reporting system brings out the reasons for failure, and the CAM system can do a FMA management, right? Failure mode analysis management. And again, it can also do a detailed 5I analysis, right, on why the failure has happened and what are the remedial actions need to be taken, correct? And again, the CAMs will provide you safety permits, BIM integration, which we mentioned, right? So all the data from the BIM can be flowing into the CAMs, and the BIM integration and maintenance visualization. This works especially in case of railway stations, right? We had installations in Qatar Rail, where the BIM is extensively used for their maintenance practices to isolate the systems, right, before doing the maintenance, and to identify and to plan the crews for addressing the key maintenance problems. Again, another point which I want to touch upon is inspection-based maintenance, right? Now, in this scenario, the maintenance practices are moving away from the routine standardized preventive maintenance to an inspection-based maintenance, right? So Maximo provides a detailed framework for inspection handling, the checklist handling, right? Each and every element of the maintenance can be created as a checklist, and the maintenance technician goes to the place and carries out this checklist, and on the outcome of that checklist will be converted into a work order, right? We have seen installations in Saudi Rail where inspection-based maintenance has been extensively used. They use inspection forms for routine rail maintenances, routine bogie maintenance. They collect the vibrational readings of the rail, right, as on a continuous basis, and take decisions based on that. Okay, so takeaways, right? So what are the key takeaways? It's estimated that 30% of the time the train spends in a workshop, right? And that is because to identify what is the failure, why the failure has happened, right? The condition-based monitoring can lead to an overall reduction of around 10 to 15% of these failure diagnosis, right? So how does this condition-based monitoring helps you is that it provides a continuous stream of data to the system, so that it collects and articulates, right, and interprets the data in the effective manner, so that a decision can be taken based on that, right? There are so many examples for this, right? Even vibration technology, heat sensors, right? Movement sensors, all these are used to determine what is the operational stage of your equipment or your asset, and what time of the day or what time of the year that asset needs to go for a maintenance. So it helps you to plan your maintenance better and decrease your downtime. Increase focus on inspection-based maintenance. This we discussed, right? Alert generation to remedial action, tracking and reporting of complaints, effectiveness of the effectiveness of inspection-based maintenance is directly dependent upon the skill of the person who is doing the inspection, which is a caveat in this. But still, creating a checklist and following the checklist, right, will help us to identify key areas which are visually inspectable, right, and collect that data into your maintenance processes, right? Asset performance monitoring and management. See, asset performance management has become one of the key focus areas in rail network, right? So this is for key assets which are very critical for the comfort of the user, other than the normal rail assets, right? So this may be escalators, the lifts and all can be brought under the asset performance management framework to monitor that asset on a 365 24-hour basis, to see the operational benefits and arrive at a planned maintenance, right? If in case the performance is not degraded by a certain percentage, you can take it for maintenance, enhancing the customer. So avoiding breakdown, that's a basic factor, right? So here the customer comfort is the key element, correct? And again, operation wise also, this can be extended to any key assets like engines, right? This can be extended to that. There are installations globally which uses APM framework for rail engine maintenance also, correct? So we can extend these frameworks for any critical asset which you feel has to be monitored on a continuous basis. Crew scheduling, we mentioned about it, how the crews can be effectively scheduled to increase effectiveness, right, in the workforce dimensioning. Integrated planning, see the key element here is how to increase or how to better your MTTR, right? So, and by effective crew scheduling, your MTTR can be definitely enhanced. Failure analysis. So any frame, the CAMS gives you a framework for conducting a structured failure analysis, right? Maybe FEMA analysis or a 5i or a fishbone analysis, right? All these analysis methodologies can be effectively used, right, and utilized as a part of your maintenance program. Correct? Reduction in the operational cost. We discussed about this, and how energy efficiency, carbon emission, all these can be planned for sustainable growth. There's something between planning and sustainable, right? How these systems will help you is to monitor the sustenance part of it. You are planning something and you are tracking it on a daily basis, on a day-to-day basis to see that these goals are sustainable, right? And again, as a part of your decision-making processes, any deviation in this goal can be monitored and tracked and remediated, right? So that is a key thing, key message, or a key functionality that CAMS provides. Yeah, thank you.